Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer, my reactions to the other trailer, to the second trailer of Death Stranding 2. Oh man, let me tell you, On the Beach looks great. I'm also reacting to the special panel they had today that PlayStation put out, and then it's up now on Kojima Productions. And let me tell you, what a great cast. It looks like there's going to be a lot more gameplay here. From what the panel said, there's going to be more action. You could see some kaiju influences. You know, if you guys follow Kojima on Twitter, or X, whatever they call it now, he was posting a lot of monster movie type stuff, and now I can see why. Right? You can see a lot of the influences here. Let me tell you, for those of you who haven't played Death Stranding, the best way I could describe it's a video game about a book that was made into a movie, right? And you have to relive it step by step, chapter by chapter. So it's a slow burn. When I first played the game, my son had to convince me because I didn't like it. I was like, everybody was saying, when I was actually listening to to people on the internet, I heard it's a walking simulator, you do too much walking. But let me tell you, I'm glad that I was mistaken, and I'm glad that my son convinced me to play the game, which is a game that I played, one of the games that I played throughout the pandemic, and it was great. It's a deep story. The acting was great. Lindsay Wagner was on it, which, Gen Xer, idol, of course. But now the acting goes way above and beyond the first game. Now you have Elle Fanning, of course you have Norman Reedus, Jonathan Rumi, you get Troy Barker back. Of course, he is now a beloved villain. He made such an impression on the public, right? He transcended, and Kojima brought him back and expanded. He's going to expand his character, and everything that I see looks great here. And there's also some, and I have to say this has to be a Metal Gear Easter egg. He's planning something along the Metal Gear universe. I believe that's a little, a little unresolved issue he has there with Konami. And, I don't think he's dropping these visual Easter eggs for nothing. I think he has something up his sleeve. But there's so many more great actors here. You had Marty Rowan, I believe his name is, Kevin Ko, Darren Jacobs, Sholo Kutsuma, I believe her name is. Regardless, guys. And Leah's back, of course. Now you're going to have a romantic interest. You have the baby coming back. The story looks amazing, let me tell you. And what I want to reflect on here, guys, is that Kojima Productions can do something that AAA gaming usually doesn't do, and that is focus on the art. When you think of AAA games now, what you're really thinking about is making money, right? The microtransactions, the season passes, that's the priority. It's a priority of any business to make money. That's what it's for. The advantages that independent creators like Kojima have is they can focus on the art. Because Kojima, whether you like his game or not, is not interested in becoming a millionaire. He's interested in making art. He's been a fan of movies his entire life, and he makes cinematic video games. That's what he's into. And one of my criticisms of the video game industry in recent years is the lack of good stories, the lack of voice acting, right? Whenever there's parts that should be voice acted, a lot of studios just put in text. You have to read it on your own, when I think a lot of games would be well served to have more actors in them. And with this game being more of a cinematic piece and having an ensemble cast, I'm really hoping that this does influence the video game industry, because it's been a long time coming. It's not the only video game that has done it, but to have this type of success, because this game, Death Stranding, has become a cult classic. The people that played it during the pandemic have a strong connection. People beloved these characters. Let me tell you, Norman Reedus, Troy Barker, get all kinds of love. Leah gets all kinds of love based on the games, a lot of times, in their words, more than they do on their movie projects. And it's no wonder why, video games is just a bigger industry. And right now you have an opportunity here where you could have all these creative people, all these great actors get into video games. And I wish they did that, because I'm telling you, it's sorely needed in so many AAA games where acting and better writing would really elevate the product to better experiences, and they would get the results that they want instead of spending money on portraying every blade of grass. If they put it more in the writing and acting, man, what a better world this would be in video games. But getting back to this one, when I reflect on what Death Stranding did on this game, what it's doing now, my hope, and I mean this, my hope is that this game and these set of games actually influence the industry. And then we look back in history, in video game history, we can look back as Kojima, we already look at it as a pioneer, in early video games, but I would like to see him as a pioneer of bringing the industry together and merge it in more ways than one with cinema, because that was his first love. And give opportunity to all these great actors that have the ability to add so much more, to add writers, just have a better story, a more interesting story. This is science fiction, but you can do this in any genre. And it looks like he's exploring other genres like horror and what have you. But if he's able to influence the industry so we just get better products, that would be a great thing. And based on the acting that I'm seeing so far, the little that I've seen, I think there's going to be a lot better acting here. And when you have something that sets the bar so much higher than anything else that's come previously, then you start comparing, right? You say, look, this game is great. It's not as good. The acting is not as good as Death Stranding 2, but it's there. And it's a goalpost that other people can measure to, a bar, hopefully they can set. But what I can tell from this game, it's much more of an ensemble cast effort. And where in the first game it was all about Norman and what his journey was and what have you. All the cutscenes were about him and his story. Now we're going to look at several characters, how they're going to develop, what their storylines are going to be. I'm telling you, I'm really looking forward to this game. I don't usually pre-order anything, nor am I doing a lot of collector's editions now, unless they're used and I find them somewhere. But I think for this right here, I'm going to make an exception. I think this I'm going to order early and play it as soon as I can, because I can't wait. I really can't wait to know what the rest of the story is. All right, humans, thank you so much for joining me. Those are just my quick reactions. Man, I wish the best for this project, and I really, really wish that this is going to be a great game. Guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.